Hello, welcome to Quilt and Color. Today is day 18 of the 15 Minutes to Quilt Challenge. Today we're going to open this box. It looks like they're chocolate covered cookies, but there's no cookies in here, which I guess is a good thing because they probably would not be very tasty after so long. Inside the box, there's a bag. There's a bag of blocks. And you can see from the label here, it's a signature block this one is dated 2003. This was a part of a signature exchange from the Quiltswappers newsgroup. The newsgroup hasn't been around for a long time, but it's going to be fun to see all these names and remember all the conversations that we had with these wonderful people. So let's make a plan for these and we'll get started. I thought about starting without you and trimming some blocks already so that we can just sew together. But once I started trimming them, I thought there were things that I wanted to tell you about the trimming process. So when you have blocks that come from a variety of people, each person has their own definition of seam allowance. So you'll find that some of the blocks will not be the same size. So you have two options here. You can either trim all of the blocks to the same size, to the smallest block size, or you can try to repair the block so that you can get the size that you want. I think I'm going to go ahead and trim these at 4.5 inches, and I'm going to mark. You can use washi tape or something to remind you of where it is that you're going to be cutting, and that way you don't have to keep finding that line over and over again. And that would mean that the middle point is like 2 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and mark that so I can eyeball the center of the block. And that way, if I'm trimming from both sides, then I would be able to estimate the center of the block and make sure that it's the same size that I'm cutting. Now, one of the issues with this kind of a block is you're going to have to meet these seams, but I think that this one should be okay, because here you can see the 1/4 inch is going to be here and here, so it's going to match in the intersection. I think I already trimmed this side. So I'm making sure that this is lining up. This lines up to the place where I want it to go. This should be about the center of the block, which it is. It just looks bigger because this part is going to be trimmed off. Okay, so we got this one block done. Here, that looks right to me. Looks center-ish. Maybe I can use if I put this on a line, then I'll be able to do better with making it even. So if I put this here, I'll be 2.5 inches, so the center line is over here. I actually folded it so that I would know that it's in the right place. And it is on the fold. You can see over here that I folded it, and you can see that there's a little faint line of where the fold is, and that makes it easier to see that the block is centered properly. If you have a ruler that's the right size, that would make it faster, so you can do two sides at the same time. Actually, I could probably do two sides at the same time on this one, but with this ruler. I just want to make sure I'm trimming on both sides, because if I only trim everything from one section, then the names won't be in the middle. And I'll have problems with the signature block too. I'm going to trim a few more of these off camera, but I do want to say sometimes when you do a signature swap or when you do a block swap, sometimes some people put something unique on some of the blocks, like the smiley face, for example. And what they did was they said in the news group that, you know, if you have a block with a smiley face, let me know and I'll send you a special prize. So that was another fun thing to add to a block swap in a community. I'm going to trim the rest of these offline, but I did want to show you that I have chosen the pattern for this quilt. I want to make a trip around the world setting. I know that the signatures won't then be upside down, but I'm okay with that because I can always turn the quilt around in different ways when I want to share them. Remember how to do this now. This would be I think this one goes the same way as this, and then this one goes with that. This one goes with this one. Here's mine. Oops. And then it just keeps repeating over and over again, so that there's a trip around the world setting. There's a little line that goes all the way across over and over again, all the way around the center. Okay, so I'll trim a little bit offline and then we'll start sewing. That could happen as you're working on a block like this is you want to make sure that all of your corners are matching in the same exact space, which is not necessarily going to happen unless you're very careful with the cutting and making sure that you're cutting correctly on here. That's not something that I'm willing to make that extra effort to do. So what my plan is to deliberately make them a little bit off, so that when I put these blocks together and they're not exactly at the point, it's a feature and not a bug. Okay, my time is up, but I wanted to show you this block so you can see it. As you can see, I made some pretty good progress in the 15 minutes. I cut a few blocks and then I sewed a few of them together and have chosen a layout so it's pretty good. I can just continue on for the rest of the blocks. There are different ways that you can make this quilt. You could start from the center and draw lines around it and just keep going this way, around and around like a log cabin. A different way is to divide your quilt into quadrants. Forgive my awkward lines. And then just all of the lines in this, all of the signatures then will, on this quadrant will go this direction, and all the lines in this quadrant will go in this direction. So it makes it really easy to put the blocks together because they're all going in the same exact direction. And then once you are finished, everything, then just join the 4 quadrants together and everything will be lined up the way you were expecting them to line up. This video is a part of a series of videos where I show you each of the quilts that I have in the works. I hope that you enjoy watching them and seeing how I revive all of these quilt projects that have been languishing. I hope you've been sewing along with me, and if you have, please leave a comment in the comment box and let me know what you worked on and how much you got done today, and I'll give you an entry in the drawing which will be held on January 1st. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of your support, and we'll see you again tomorrow.